What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Chromium Collections. It's been another long time. It's probably going to be a long time after this episode for you guys to hear us talk again. But regardless, we're back today, and we're going to be starting with the Nets.
Yeah, so contenders or pretenders. So
I
they're
mean,
ever since the James Harden trade, best offense in league history, but they've been horrible defensively. So
yeah, I'm sure they'll fix that sooner or later. I don't think that's gonna stay like that.
but how do you think they're gonna fix that?
I mean, they're probably gonna have to pick up someone from free agency who's just around. Actually, no, they already signed Shumpert, right?
Yeah, but I don't think any free agency signing right now is gonna fix their defense all that much.
I guess. I mean, we did hear about the possible Drummond buyout, so the
Yeah. There's also a
so what's
report that came out that Cavs aren't gonna they aren't willing to buy out Drummond.
yeah, they're gonna want to trade him, right?
Yeah, or they let him
Uh,
go in free agency.
yeah, that makes sense. So we'll just have to see, but I think they're gonna just have to rely on their team defense instead,
Yeah,
which I'm sure that'll develop sooner or later as the season
I think
progresses.
I think they're gonna have the problem of the Clippers last year, because they're getting annihilated, not annihilated, but they're losing to below 500 teams, but they're winning against over 500 teams. So
I mean, in the end, because they are going to be in the playoffs, right? In the end, they're only going to be facing teams that are like pretty much above 500 or at 500 because they're in the East, right? So,
yeah,
you know,
I agree with that, but I still think they're not gonna they act like it's gonna be a breeze for them. They still have to win,
they still got to work for it. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think KD knows that
yeah.
as much as anyone else, especially after the amount of hardship he had to go through in OKC, right?
Yeah, you gotta.
Even when he was in Golden State, you have to keep in mind he had to play good for that to happen.
Yeah, of course, he was the best player on the floor, even when playing at Golden State. No question. But I still
Right.
think
So
that defense is gonna give them problems. Cause yeah, you'll hit shots. You guys, they're hitting shots. But what if you're cold? Like one game, nothing's falling for you. What are you gonna
that's
do?
the point.
That's it.
That's literally what happened with Harden, right?
Yeah, that's
Uh,
what happens. What that happened with the Rockets. I think it's gonna be a similar scenario, but I don't think it'll be like.
I don't think they're gonna make it out though. If I'm being honest, Milwaukee or Philly looks like the favorites right now. Like as much as people like to hype up the Nets, I don't think this is the year for them to win the championship.
Yeah, if they had Jared Allen and if they didn't do the Harden trade, I think they would have been the ones getting out in my opinion, because they
Yeah, for
had
sure.
Jared Allen, they had
But I
Karis
think the
LeVert.
initial plan was to involve Spencer Dinwiddie, but obviously they can't do that now, so that kind
Yeah.
of sucks. Otherwise, they would
I
have
mean,
kept
since he's a pretty good player, but I don't think I don't think he'll fix their defensive problem right now.
Drummond, right? Yeah,
Yeah. Or
yeah.
yeah.
Well, some players have been stepping it up. Ever since LaMelo got put into the starting lineup in the last 5 games, he has been averaging 22 points per game, 6.5 assists per game, and he's been doing this on very good efficiency, 51% from three, 43% from the field. He seems to be hitting a lot more 3-point shots than 2-point shots.
Yeah. He has an ugly ass form, but it goes in, and that's what matters.
Most of the Ball brothers forms are like
Yeah.
that. I mean, even Tyrese Halliburton's form is questionable, and he's been popping off too.
Yeah, for I'm just visually, I don't when I see him shoot, I don't think it's gonna go in, but then it goes in.
Goes in,
That's
right?
just one of those forms. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's been playing with that his whole life, so I'm sure obviously he's adjusted to it.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. I
I
mean,
mean, the
so
shot
the
has
Hornets,
been,
I think the Hornets are I think they can be a playoff team because Hayward's putting up career highs in points right now, like 23.3, I think.
something like that, right? Yeah, they're gonna have to trade Rozier or Graham for some, because if they want Lamelo to be in the starting lineup, because it looks like he's fit in very well.
Yeah, I think Lamelo deserves the starting spot, but I don't know who, because you would have to trade someone to get him in the
Him
lineup.
into the starting lineup, right?
Yeah,
I
because right
think
now it's only because of injuries.
I think Devonte Graham is the guy to move just because Rozier can do a lot of things that like Devonte can't.
But also,
His
Graham is younger than Devonte. No, sorry, Devonte is younger than Terry Rozier.
That's another thing, right?
Yeah, so like, do you want him to develop alongside Lamelo, or do you want that like?
I guess it's just sort of what deal, like what package is better for each player.
Yeah,
You gotta shop both of them and see which one you get a better return in. So, like, I guess we won't know what kind of deals that is, right? So we'll just have to see.
yeah. I
But
think I think they're gonna make the at least I think they're gonna at least be part of the play-in this year, the play-in tournament.
oh, for sure, for sure,
Yeah,
for sure.
because
I mean,
Gordon Hayward's going off. Lamelo's obviously, as we said, playing great. Devonte is really good.
yeah, he
Terry
stepped
Rozier
it
is
up.
pretty good too. Ma-
I think it's Miles Bridges, right? Yeah,
yeah, Miles Bridges is good. Even
him
like
and
Cody
Lamelo.
Zeller, bro.
Yeah, Cody Zeller's been playing
Like
good too.
under the radar, he's been pretty fire. Like low key, but nobody wants to post him.
Of course, they wouldn't post him. They have to post Lamelo and LeBron
House of Lamelo.
and Bron report.
Yeah,
Can't forget about them.
facts. All right.
Anyways,
So another
everyone's
team that's
favorite.
been that we think that's probably gonna
Oh,
make at least the play-in tournament is the Raptors.
yeah. So everyone's favorite or everyone's least favorite fidget spinner has been spinning his way to 25.6 points per game, and he's had four 30 or more points uh, in over the last 6 games. Two of those 30-point games have been double doubles, and he's also grabbing close to 7 rebounds, and rebounds is something that the Raptors have needed.
Hmm. I'm pretty sure he's also up there in assists as well.
Yeah, yeah, his assist numbers have improved quite a
Yeah.
bit as well.
So Pascal, he's back. I think the Raptors are gonna get into their groove again.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to make it out of the first round, in my opinion.
It depends on the matchup. Like
That's true.
it's all depend on matchups.
If we play like Brooklyn, then maybe because they don't have like a defense. And
Yeah.
Siakam cooked them last night. Aren't
I just think
oh,
whatever team faces them in the playoffs is not gonna have fun. That's all I'm gonna say.
yeah, I think they're definitely gonna be like one of those teams that are just gonna be like a hard fight. But
Yeah, like
yeah,
the Mavericks last year.
yeah, the Mavericks they easily could have won if Porzingis was there.
Yeah, yeah, and then so
And
speaking of the Raptors, so Kyle Lowry. So there's rumors that he's up for trade. Or at least the front office is like, hey, he's available.
yeah, I think it is a very logical move, putting aside emotions.
Yeah,
That
it's like as a
Raptors fan.
Raptors fan, like I understand that you don't want to trade him, but like,
It's just the logical thing to do. We have way too many guards, and we should trade him to a contender while he's still good.
yeah, let him get a second ring. Let him be a Hall of Famer. Just don't.
Well, yeah, yep. So we have a few trades that could. Well,
Okay.
one's not to a contender.
Yeah. So the first one is basically it's for Zach Levine. So it's Kyle Lowry, two first round picks. So that would be this year and 2023, and then
Yeah,
one second round pick from the Raptors. And the Raptors get Zach Levine and Thomas Satoransky. I don't think the Bulls do that trade.
the
Bulls,
Bulls wouldn't want to do that just because they're very young right now, and I think they'd want to stay young. And on top of that, Zach Levine has been very good for them, so I don't think they have any interest in moving him.
yeah, I think like maybe you can argue that Lowry would bring like a winning culture to the team, but I still don't think it's worth giving up Zach Levine.
I don't think the Raptors would do that either, just because we just said previously it'd be nice to trade Lowry to a contender, and the Bulls are far from a contender.
I mean, as a fan, you would want to, but like just as like
Yeah, but
in the
there's also
as the front office member, you're like, yeah, we're getting Zach Levine, who I think if he's on the Raptors, I think they're a contender again, cause they just
yeah,
don't,
but again,
cause they
I
have
don't think
scoring droughts, and I think he
yeah,
would
I
fix it.
don't think the Bulls would
Yeah,
trade Zach
Bulls
Levine.
Bulls wouldn't do it. Raptors would do it, and then so another one. This is a three-team trade with the Heat, the Raptors, and the Cavaliers. So the Heat would get Kyle Lowry and DeAndre Bembry. The Cavs would get Iguodala, Kelly Olynyk, Terrence Davis the second, and the Heat's second round pick. And then the Raptors would get Duncan Robinson and Andre Drummond.
I think the only thing that might be stopping that is Duncan Robinson. I don't think the Heat would give up Duncan Robinson.
Yeah, if they didn't give up Hero for Harden, I don't think they would give up
They're not giving up
Robinson.
Duncan Robinson for Kyle Lowry.
But I mean, it wouldn't be like that wouldn't be a bad idea for them.
I mean, I think it's a good trade all around. I mean, even then, I don't know if they'd want to give up Iguodala either because he brings sort of that winning culture.
But I mean, you're
Not,
getting Kyle
not,
Lowry
not.
back, who brings that winning culture as well.
Yeah, he also brings that as well, right? Yeah,
hmm
him
And
and
like
Jimmy
him and
Butler.
Jimmy are they're boys, right? So
Yeah, yeah. Actually, yeah. I think the only thing weighing this down is Duncan Robinson and
yeah,
potentially salary. We're not sure if the salary matches up.
I think it works, but yeah, who knows? Yeah, and then the
We'll see.
Raptors also get rid of Terrence Davis II, which
I think that's a W,
I think that's a W. Yeah, for
given
reasons, for obvious reasons.
his
Also,
legal situations.
also how he plays. He makes some. He's not the
Very
smartest player on the floor. I'll just say that.
complicated.
Yeah. And then so
Okay,
the
the
final
last
trade, so it's with the 76ers. So the
trade.
76ers get Kyle Lowry, and then the Raptors will get Matisse, basically a package centered around Matisse Thybulle and some picks. So it'd be like probably like one or two first rounders, as well as like a player to match the salary, like Danny Green or something.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Danny Green, but like, I don't really know many other players that they could just dump
Yeah,
that the Raptors want, you know?
because they wouldn't give up Tobias Harris because he's playing great this season.
I don't think the money works even if they do. I think we'd be over the limit.
Yeah, the Rap. I don't know. I need to look. I haven't looked into the contracts yet, so I
Yeah, no,
wouldn't
but
know.
last I heard, Tobias Harris has signed a pretty hefty contract.
Yeah, it's like it's basically. I think basically a max. No, I think it would work out. Whatever. It would be close.
But they obviously wouldn't do Tobias Harris.
Yeah, yeah. They wouldn't give Tobias Harris. He's been
I
playing
think the
awesome.
I think the one thing that might be weighing this trade down is the Raptors not solving their big man situation.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I think that's basically it. So maybe like they can get Dwight Howard out of it, but I don't think Philly would give up Dwight Howard because the first time they're gonna have like a good
They have
backup to
a
Embiid.
backup for Joel, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, you can
that
hardly.
isn't just like horrendous.
Yeah, Dwight Howard is very serviceable to say the least.
Yeah, and then so finally, let's talk about these refs, man.
They gotta do something about this. This is
Oh,
crazy.
bro, yeah. So let's talk about some of these. This is only a handful, right? There's more than this is a handful of things. So Harden got a tech for tossing the ball to DeAndre Jordan, right before inbound.
Hmm.
Dante Exum got it. So this and then I forgot who they're playing, right? But Devonte Exum got a steal, uh, like on the inbound pass, and then like the ref was in the way, and he ran into the ref, and
Oh,
he
and
was
then he
like
got
kind of
attacked.
pushed him off, right? Because he was in the way, and
Hmm.
Dante Exum got a tech for that.
Marvin
And this one,
Bagley
yeah, this is crazy, but Marvin Bagley got a tech for jumping up and down.
after he believes he got fouled, which we see a lot. So I don't understand what was so special about this. Maybe he said something, but even then, just like come on, just like let it go. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
This
and
should
then
be
Ben
happening,
Simmons trips after getting a dunk.
and it's a
Like,
tech.
what looks like a trip, or like a slip or a trip, from like at least watching it
I
on
think I
TV.
think what they might have been thinking is he might have been holding the rim for too long, but even then, if he tripped, he clearly wasn't ready to let go of the rim.
Yeah, so I don't. There's some. See these like I feel like the refs should get like there should
They
be.
have to. I feel like there should be some sort of investigation because this is not the only time like this has been weird. Especially like just for example, the Heat Milwaukee game that like happened and like the refs basically decided the outcome of that when Jimmy Butler. I think yeah, it was Jimmy Butler. He got free throws after the clock. Like that didn't make any sense.
Yeah,
No, I mean these refs. I think they have to be investigated, but obviously
there
they're
has
not.
to be some sort of repercussions. That's my thing. That's the thing. Like they all like they'll just get away. Like no like if they're if a player gets a technical, they also have to pay a fine, right? Or it's like the refs can just give those out with that, like just give them out like nothing basically now, and like
It's
nothing happens to them.
Yeah, I do think that they also need to face some consequences. Number one, number two, like I said, I feel like there should be some sort of investigation, but we know none of that is going to happen.
Hmm.
It is what it is.
Just a random thought, like they should like maybe like these are just some ideas that like I just like saw online. One was that like maybe reduce the salary of the actual refs, but then give them a bonus at the end of the year based on how well they like refed basically.
The calls they got, yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah, cause
I
like
think that's
sometimes like you'll see some phantom calls like shit, like there's no contact whatsoever, and they
the
just
one the
call.
other day with Miles Bridges, right?
Yeah, and then Harden will slap Boucher like as hard as he can on the arm as he's going for a layup,
And there's no foul.
and there's no foul. There's just
Doesn't
some questionable stuff going on, man. There.
Well, I think that's all we have for today's episode. And I guess we'll see you guys whenever we decide to record again.